welcome back to Good Enough Garage. Today we are filming a 2022 XSR 900 from Yamaha. This color is super sick, and pretty much this thing is fairly stock, but I'll just kind of go over some of the specs. These MSRP at about right under $10,000, like $999.99, something like that. But yeah, these MSRP for right at 10 grand. It's got a 890cc engine, and it has, I think, 117 or 115 horsepower, but to the wheel it's about 105, 106. It has a 6-speed with a quick shifter, this is the first time I've ever rode a bike with a quick shifter, and it is honestly just a game changer. But this one also has a Kelpie exhaust, full exhaust. Okay. And the only other things that he's done was he's put these blinkers here and did a tail tidy kit on it. I also love the positioning of the tail light on this bike. It looks super sick, and the dash right here is sick as well. So I went over on the riding portion, but you can, like, on the handlebars you have like this scroll wheel, and you can change stuff like temperature there, different stuff there, like fuel, I guess, consumption. So it's pretty cool the way you can do everything there. And I kind of like the positioning of it, where it's at. But let's see what other stuff. We did the riding portion first, so kind of going back and doing all this stuff. These have KYB inverted forks up here, and also KYB suspension in the back. And I thought they had Brembo brakes, but they do not. I think it might just be the master cylinder that is Brembo. Could be incorrect there too. But overall, this is seems to be a pretty solid bike. This one also does have cruise control, which I kind of wish more bikes had, but is what it is. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get a startup here for you momentarily, and then I'll go to the riding portion. So here we go. Alrighty, what's going on, guys? Today we are riding a 2022 XSR 900. We're gonna do the riding portion first, and then go over the bike and all that. And then he's riding my bike, so if you hear another set of exhaust, then you'll know what it is. Pretty excited because this will be a good comparison, like directly to my bike, to see what exactly you would rather have.
It's quick shift up and down.
He just let me know that it is quick shift up and down. So that'll be fun to experience. So far, what I've noticed is the clutch lets out a lot further than mine, because mine like lets out like pretty far, or like pretty deep. I don't know, shallow, I don't know, whatever. doesn't let out as far as this one does. I kind of prefer mine. I like to get the grab a little bit quicker. I'm not sure exactly what exhaust is on it, but I'll let you know at the beginning of the video. I do sort of like where the dash is located on this one, like right there, rather than kind of up closer. It is a little easier just to kind of like look down just a little bit and see it. So far what I've noticed is this bike does seem to sit a little bit more, a little more aggressive than mine. I feel like I gotta lean a little bit more forward. But I do like the mirror location on this bike. And the color on this is really nice too. Okay, so apparently I started in third gear, so you're not supposed to do that. I'm already fucking up riding this bike, but we're getting it. It does have a lot of pops, which is pretty neat. I do like the tone of the exhaust. And so far the suspension feels pretty good. Pretty comparable, maybe even a little bit better than mine. I don't know all the modes or anything on this, but I did notice right here it does have cruise control, so that is pretty cool, which I think it seems like a lot more of the Yamahas have cruise control over the Kawasaki stuff. I kind of wish the Kawasaki would catch up on that and have cruise control on the bikes. I'm not sure if this would be, I guess it would be slightly comparable to the it's got a little bit of get up and go. But like I was saying, I don't know if this would be more comparable to the Z900 RS, since it is kind of more of like a cafe style bike rather than a like naked like mine, the Z900. It seems like this one has a lot more technology on it than my bike, for the cruise control and some of the other, maybe some of the other features on the TFT. I like that even though it does seem to have like a smaller screen, everything is displayed very well. got the cruise control going. Let's see if we can scroll the menu. You can kind of change everything, like coolant temp and whatnot. Pretty cool stuff. It is kind of nice to be able to like scroll through the different stuff, but I guess my bike kind of more just shows everything, I believe. On the TFT, like, you don't have to choose between gas and the coolant temp. Mine chose both. I guess it is nice to be able to at least have the option to do all that instead of just being like, oh, you're shit out of luck with not being able to see all of that. It gives you the option to swap some stuff with other stuff. I guess it's better to have the option than to just not have it at all. Flyby of my bike. I will say that the bike does feel super smooth. Like it is a quick bike, but it is super smooth. And the quick shifter does definitely help. I kind of want to see if they have something like that for the Z900. But I do think this is like a higher end, maybe XSR. I'll have to go over the details with the owner and figure all that out. But I've seen like the XSR like 700s, and I wasn't like too keen on the way they look or anything. But this bike actually looks really good, and I think in some of the different markets you can find like front fairings and all that to make like a GT, I think is what they call it, looking bike. But unfortunately the owner of this bike wasn't able to source any of that stuff, so it is what it is. But it definitely looks cooler with it. Let's try to put it in first this time. The brakes are really good. I think they're Brembos. They do feel really good. It's definitely, it takes some getting used to with the quick shifter. I'm just always used to just shifting with the clutch and like letting off. I think quick shifters you can just slap it up. But this is definitely a fun bike. sounds amazing, even with like all the like crackles and whatnot that you have whenever you like get on throttle and it'll let off. And even in 6th gear, like just rolling into the throttle, it picks up. It picks up pretty quickly. There's really no like lagging behind or anything. And again, the more I sit on, like, the more I ride it with the seating position, it feels really good. There's really, you're not having to like lean super far forward. You're kind of more like set just a little more forward than I think my bike is. But the way you hug the tank and everything is really good. The seat feels nice, which I believe it's a stock seat, but even then it feels really nice. The grips feel good, not hard plastic. A while back, I feel like the quick shifter can kind of help him, especially with me having to like clutch in and all that to shift. But I'm curious to see the power numbers, the difference. That is something that I want to do on my bike, is get a full exhaust. I gotta get mine tuned for that. As much as I like the cut exhaust, I think it would just kind of improve it overall to have the full exhaust. Sound will be that much better. Power is just super linear. Like, it is pretty like a little rowdy, but it is great too, to where you can just roll into it and you're not really having to worry about it pop up or anything like that. But I'm curious if this is tuned, because and I think it does have a full exhaust. So definitely an overall fun bike so far. The quick shifter, that does just add like a whole other element, like I said. I don't think I've rode a bike with a quick shifter on it. They always look really cool. Also, to have a bike like this with cruise control is definitely a sick thing to have, like a sick feature. This is a bike that I think I could also like take on longer trips and be perfectly fine with. Because so far it seems pretty comfortable, where like you could take bumps and not have to worry about anything. And then if you want to play around in the street just a little bit, then you're good to do that. Curious on like the fuel mileage and stuff as well, to see the range on it and the fuel capacity. This take bumps pretty well. Riding this bike, it does kind of show me some of the luxuries that I would like to search and see if I can have on my bike, like quick shifter. I know there's really no way to put, I know there's like aftermarket stuff to put cruise control on, but I don't necessarily know if I would like to go that route. I'd rather just stick with that, because I feel like I've heard people complain about that. Or like the throttle stuck or something, because they had those aftermarket cruise control stuff on there. This is the first, I've rode like a MT-03 around a neighborhood before, but this is like the first Yamaha bike I've taken like on the street. And besides the XJ, but a newer Yamaha, and I gotta say that this bike is pretty nice, I would have to say. It takes, the suspension feels really good. It's pretty firm, but not like too firm where you can't take bumps. The seating position's really good, like my hand's not falling asleep either. But unlike most bikes, if like your hand starts to go numb, you just put it on cruise control and maintain the pace and give your hands a rest. So like even if that does happen, then you are still good. You don't have to worry. Like this bike's quick, and I didn't even really take it to redline or anything. This bike may be faster than mine. It did beat me in a race, so I can probably say that it is. But I'm also curious to know the weight and all of that on this bike compared to mine. Because I've heard that the MT-09s and like FZ-09s are pretty crazy with their power to weight ratio, where they just pick up like crazy. But this one has great power and doesn't really feel like it wants to pick up or anything. I think when I passed a car earlier, it hit traction control a little bit, I believe, but I was like crossing the paint, so that might have been just what it was. I'm also kind of curious on the cost on this versus some of the other stuff. I feel like the direct competitor to that bike, or the Z900, would be the MT-09. not sure what mode this is in. I think it just says D mode 1 and the TCS is on 1. I'm not sure the different modes. Whenever we get stopped and everything, I'll look at all that. Just it's super stable as well. Like it doesn't really you don't get blown around the road like my this truck's making my head move. But like the wind doesn't blow you like one way or the other, and then the bike just feels super planted in the corners. Just that little acceleration, it just sounds super fun. Like it sounds super good. Quick shifter just makes it super simple, just to like have fun like that. I've always kind of, ever since I first like got into motorcycles, like street bikes and stuff, I've kind of like the Kawasaki's more, so it's super fun to get out on all these different brands and see what like Yamaha has to offer, what Honda does, even like Harley Davidson. So far on the channel, the Hondas have been given the best scores, but I think so far, as of right now, this is given a run for their money, because this bike has been super comfortable, a blast to ride. I think the only thing that could really dumb it down would be pricing, and then if like the fuel capacity and fuel economy is just god awful. That's kind of what ruined, well, actually the Harley was just, comfort was horrible after riding for a while. Fuel economy and fuel capacity was just not good at all. But like looking at the tank, it's a big tank, so I would imagine that everything would be pretty good. Like we've been riding for a decent bit, and the gas gauge really hasn't gone down that much, so I'm going to assume that the fuel economy is pretty good as well. in full force today. He's letting me know that he's cocked around. Mustang cop car. I should ask them to go ride some of their bikes. Alrighty, here we are at the final stop of our riding portion. I'm gonna go ahead and give my full thoughts on everything. Thank you for riding with me, and we will go to the full thoughts section. See ya. Alright, we're doing the final thoughts section here, and some of the stuff I didn't say at the beginning. The fuel capacity on this bike is 3.7 gallons, and it's got a 45.8, I think, so about 46 miles per gallon. So you get about, let's just say, 120 plus fuel range, which is pretty good. A little, I think, less than my bike, but still overall really good range for a bike like this. And I was just looking on Facebook, like I always do, to see what the pricing of the bikes are used, and surprisingly these bikes hold value pretty good. Like, this one's a 2022, and the ones I've seen, the cheapest was like a 2016 at 7,500, but they usually hover around 8,000 to 9,000 still. So if you just want a new one for the, I don't know, maybe upgraded stuff. I don't know if they've changed like any of the electronics or anything on them, but I don't know if you want to justify spending the extra 2,000 or so on a new one. Plus you got like all the other fees that dealers have. But the comfort on the bike is actually, I find it super comfortable. I could go ride for probably 2 hours on it. It takes bumps really well. It's not super firm where like you're hitting and it's jarring your back or anything. It is planted in the turns, and the power, the way I rode it, which I was told that if you get higher up in the rev range, then it kind of wants to pick up a little bit. But even if you keep it down low on the rev range, the power is pretty linear in my opinion. It does seem a bit quicker than my bike. I don't know if that's just me being on a different bike. The quick shifter was definitely a must in my opinion. It was pretty much a game changer to where I want to put one on my bike as well. Overall, I probably have to give like the overall riding experience and some of the other factors, and it probably get this bike an A, a solid A. And then the pricing stuff, I guess comparative to maybe what some of the other bikes like the Z900 RS, I think they're about the same. So probably an A or whatever for that. But yeah, if you just wanted a new XSR 900 for some of the different features, then you can obviously just buy one new for around 10, 11 to 12 in that range, depending on the fees and deals that you work out. Or you can just go find one on Facebook and pay 1 to 3 grand, let's say, less, and have basically the same bike. But yeah, overall, super solid bike. Sounds great, rides great. I think this is the first Yamaha I've given an A, so Hondas get some competition. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, comment what you would like to see next below. And yeah, ride safe. Remember that you are good enough. See you guys later.